So what if there was a way that you could actually reprogram your natural instincts? That's right. Program yourself so that you instinctively, automatically get up early, stay up late, do the extra stuff, whatever it takes, the things that you don't necessarily want to do, the things that you struggle to do, that you do them automatically so that you have a better body, have better health, make more money, have better lifestyle. You're happier. Well, the truth of the matter is you absolutely can. It's something that I call contrived human nature. Contrived human nature. What does that mean? See, everything, if you think about it, when you get a new cell phone, when you get that phone, it comes with a set of presets already in it, doesn't it? Your smartphone, your television, your computer, everything has a set of presets and apps in it that are already there, an operating system, if you will, that makes it habitually, automatically do things. Well, human beings are the same way. Matter of fact, every living thing on the planet comes pre-programmed, comes with a set of presets already in it. You think about it. The acorn from an oak tree, okay? That acorn has programmed inside of it, in its DNA, if you will, to tell it when it's time to grow, and when it does grow, when to shoot this branch out this way and when to do that one. It also tells it that when winter time comes, shed the leaves and go to sleep or whatever trees do. Instinctively, all living things. The bird flies south for the winter. Does it go to school to learn that? No, it knows it instinctively inside. The gazelle, the baby gazelle on the Serengeti plains of Africa, when it comes out of its mama, as soon as it hits the ground, it knows instinctively that it has to stand up. It has to stand up within a matter of just a short amount of time because it knows instinctively it has to be able to run and get away from predators. Or it knows instinctively how to hide. Throughout the entire animal kingdom, all animals have instincts. All animals. Well, guess what? You're an animal. You're a living thing. You have instincts as well. When you were born, all babies that are born, human babies when they're born, we know how to swim. Where did we learn that? Did we go to swimming classes? Of course not. Our Creator gave us those presets. But here's the interesting thing. Now, by the way, we have several different instincts inside. Two of the biggest ones are the need to avoid pain and move towards pleasure. That's obvious, self-preservation. And the need to grow and learn. We'll talk about that here in a second. But those are programmed inside of us. But what happens is this. Within 6 months, by the way, most babies, they don't know how to swim anymore. You got to teach them to swim. Why do we have to teach ourselves something that we instinctively had? Because it gets atrophied out of us. It gets programmed out of us. You see, if we don't do something that we already know how to do, we will lose that. You've done that before. Maybe you know how to play piano. You could play a song before, but then you can't remember how to play it. You don't have that dexterity anymore. It's because you didn't practice it, if you will. Well, think about this. I'm going to show you how you can program yourself so that you automatically default to those best behaviors, best feelings, and best thoughts, if you will, so that you more than likely will automatically do those things. Like I said, get up early. And I'm one of those people, by the way. I'm one of those people I hated to get up in the morning. I just hated it. But I use this process that I'm going to tell you about how to do it. I want you to think about this. When we are children, when we are little, our mind is more malleable than it is when we're older. Why? Because we don't have so much clutter. We don't have so many memories. We don't have so many things that are telling us this is the way that it is and so on and so forth. We almost believe anything. If you tell a kid that this cup, this glass is orange and they don't have any other input, then guess what they're going to believe? That it's orange. Till something comes along and tells them that it's blue. So their brains are definitely more malleable. As we get older, we start to doubt things. We have our other experiences and everything. We push that stuff down. It's still there, but it gets pushed down. And so we go through stages of learning. Now there's something I want to kind of break it down to what I call Human Beings 101, and to talk to you about how we function as human beings, and then a little thing that you can do to actually do that, to program yourself so that you automatically default to your best behavior. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to talk about two different things. One of them is what I call human physics. Human physics. Now, human physics is this. Physics, the simple answer, the simple explanation is, it is the study of movement. More specifically, the study of the cause and effect of movement. What does that mean? That means, first off, everything on the planet is moving. You say, no, Joseph, a rock isn't moving. Yes, it is. We're all hurtling through space at thousands of miles an hour, and it's slowly moving. Things are always moving. Things are always on it, and that's the physical attributes of that movement. There's going to be a cause and effect. If you pull a rope on this end, then something's going to happen on the other end. This is the cause, the movement on this end, and something is going to happen on that end. Just, that's plain and simple, that's basics. But I want you to think about it as human beings. Because remember, this is all leading up to program yourself so that you behave better, so that you feel better, so that you do things better, so that you, like I said, do the things that are necessary for your success, whatever that means for you. Now, I use things like making money and losing weight and things like that because they're things that people can relate to, but it's synonymous with virtually everything. So that's number one, human physics. And in human physics, there's lots of different movements, obviously. When you smile, that's a physical movement. It actually has the effect of releasing dopamine within your system that makes you feel good. More about that a little bit later. But there's one specific thing that I want to talk about that is pertinent to this process of, let's just say, programming ourselves to have better instincts. And that is something that I call contrived human nature. Contrived human instinct, if you will. And the way that that happens is this human physics side of it is that anything that a human being repeats, does over and over again physically, and really even emotionally, anything that we do over and over again, we're going to get better at. That's it. I know it's oversimplistic, but if you understand this, then you're going to understand that, wait a minute, I can do anything. Now, it seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, Joseph, I know. But think about this. Everything that you know how to do, that you do in your life, everything, not some things, not most things, but everything that you do well, without having to think about it, you do because you did it over and over again. Drive a car, ride a bicycle, tie your shoes, brush your teeth, any of those things. You're better at it than you first started. Walk, run, anything, because you did it over and over again. But there's 4 stages. There's 4 stages to, let's just say, programming yourself or doing what I call contrived human nature. Contrived just means is that you create something. It's something that wasn't there before. You create it, you make something new. And these 4 stages are the 4 stages of learning. Now, remember earlier I said that you have some instincts already, and that one instinct is the need to avoid pain and to move towards pleasure. But the other one is to grow and to learn. So you instinctively want to grow and learn. But there's 4 stages. That first stage is called unconsciously incompetent. You don't know that you don't know. You're just oblivious to it. You're just going through life. Things happen for you. You're a baby. Stuff just shows up in your life. That's what you believe the way that life should be. Then all of a sudden, one day, you see somebody doing something that you don't know how to do. The baby sees other people walking. And all of a sudden, they go, wow, I don't know how to walk. Now, I'm intellectualizing it now, but babies, they don't do that. They're not that quick, if you will. But at some point, that next stage comes in when they go, wow, I don't know how to walk. This crawling stuff and this scooting across the floor, this isn't as good. I can't get from point A to point B, which is my toy or the food or whatever, like those people can because they're walking. Oh my goodness. And then what happens is so that second stage is called conscious incompetent. You know now that you don't know. And by the way, all of these are progressional. One kicks into the other. And then once that happens, you go, and then the third stage, which is the magical stage, creeps in, or shouldn't creep in, steps up and goes, you want to know this stuff. You want to learn it. So what do? You start pulling yourself up. You start trying to stand up on your own. And you fall over and you stand up, but you keep doing it over and over again. Human physics. You keep doing it over and over again, then guess what? Before long, you're standing. Before long, you're walking. And before long, you're running. Now, this third stage, by the way, that third stage that I talk about is conscious incompetent. Now you know, is conscious competence. Now you know that you don't know, but you also have to be conscious to be competent. You got to watch where you put your foot. You got to look where you're going. You have to have intention, all these things, but you know that you're working on it. But something inside of you, isn't it, tells you, wait a minute, just keep on working on it. Just keep on doing it. You're going to get better at it. Human nature. That's instinctive inside of you already, that you know that if I just keep doing it, then I'll get better. And if you do it pretty quick, enough times, repetition, then guess what? You become unconsciously competent. Unconsciously competent, which means that you have inside of you the instinct. I said unconsciously, instinctively competent. Meaning you don't have to think about it. You just stand up and you go where you want to go. If you want to run, you run. If you want to, sit down, whatever, all of these things, tie your shoe, ride a bicycle, all of these things. I'm saying this because I want you to understand how simple, ridiculously simple it is. But remember, simple is not always easy, is it? Because you say to yourself, okay, well, if I know this stuff, which we instinctively know, then why don't I do them? But we don't do them because of the first thing that I talked about, which is the need to avoid pain. You see, getting up early, staying up late, doing the extra stuff, eating salad instead of cake, doing all of those things on some level creates some sort of discomfort inside of us. And that discomfort and uncertainty and all those things is pain. And guess what we've instinctively been designed to do? To move away from it. See how this works? And this is why instinct gets squashed down. Look, when you put an animal in front of water that's soda or has, some sugar in it or something, that animal instinctively knows it'll taste it, it'll try it, and then it'll go no at first. But if it keeps on doing it, guess what? It'll keep on liking it because even the body gets used to it. And that's what has happened to us. Listen, instinctively, spending too much time on your phone, scrolling through social media and things like that, you instinctively know that that's not going to be productive to you. But guess what? We get addicted to it. Why? Because we've done it over and over again. Plus, not to mention, there's so many things inside there that have programmed you in the way that I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to show you now. And so having said all of that stuff, what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Well, I'm going to show you something that is going to have a global effect on all of your instincts. It's going to have a processional effect on all of your instincts. It's going to have, let's just say, an overreaching thing. If you do this one thing, then guess what? You will program yourself to automatically default. And it'll affect all areas of your life. And I know it's going to sound like unicorns and crystals and rainbows and things like that, but it's science. And here's what I mean. Remember what I said earlier, that the human being is designed to move towards pleasure? Well, let's use that. Because a lot of people try and get themselves to do things by pain. And matter of fact, that's what happens. They say, I'm going to get up early tomorrow. I'm going to go on this diet tomorrow. I'm going to, make this phone call tomorrow. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to do this. And then they don't do it. Then guess what they do to themselves? They beat themselves up. They give themselves pain. And then so guess what? The next time it's time to do that, their brain goes, oh, I link that to pain. I didn't do it last time, so, I got pain, so, I'm just not going to do it now because the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. It just goes, that was painful. I'm not going to do it again. And then they go, well, where's the pleasure? Scroll through your phone. Where's the pleasure? Eat cake. Where's the pleasure? Instinctively, we do that. And so what happens is we actually are we program ourselves to have bad behaviors, if you will. Well, what if there was something that you could do, let's say, in that moment to reverse it? And there is. And that is to do the antithesis, the opposite of what you have been doing. You see, if you're an achiever, I might not know you personally, but I know stuff about you. And one of the things that is habitual, and I suffered from this big time as well, and it's in my 30 plus years in doing this, there's something that I call the achiever's fatal flaw. And the achiever's fatal flaw is that they beat themselves up. Not literally, but they beat themselves up. Even they put themselves down. They have these comments about themselves, these opinions about themselves, even when they're successful. Now be honest. Are you a member of that club, the self-beaters club? Even when you do something, you go, I should have done it faster. I should have done it easier. I should have been quicker at it, or somebody else did it faster. Or worse yet, you beat yourself up and you go, what an idiot. I didn't, what's wrong with me? I'm an idiot. Go eat cake. Why? Go watch television. Go have something to drink or having something to smoke to get out of that pain. Well, let me ask you a question. Let's go back on what we've already learned, if you will. If repetition, human dynamics or human physics, if repetition is the mother of all skill, meaning you do it over and over again, you're going to get skilled at it, you're going to get better at it, then what is the father? What is the father? If repetition is the mother of all skill, what is the father? Meaning, what is the thing that's going to speed it up? What's the thing that's going to drive it deeper? What is the thing that's going to make it happen quicker, easier, faster, so that you go further, faster? And the answer is praise. Like I said, simple. Praise. You see, praise tells the nervous system right now there's pleasure. Right now, not later. No matter what, because the brain, as soon as you praise yourself or as soon as you get praise, the brain automatically, instinctively goes, what just happened before I got that praise? And it goes, oh, I did this. I stood up. The baby goes, if you watch babies, they'll stand up and they'll wobble around, they'll fall over and they'll go, ah. And even when they're in it, they got that look in their eyes all the time. You see, babies praise themselves all the time, plus we do it to them. They don't have to get it right. I always jokingly say, listen, the baby, for the very first time turns around to the parents and goes, Ma. The parents don't go, look, you stupid baby. The word is mother. Get it right. They don't do that. They praise the baby. And the baby's nervous system and the human dynamics of the baby goes, whoa, that feels good, because as soon as they get praise, eyebrows go up. Remember, physics, they smile, the brain releases dopamine. The system goes, what just happened? Oh, I said, Ma, let's just do it again. And the more they do it, over and over again, they get better and better at it. See how easy this is? I shouldn't say easy, how simple this is. So the same thing works for you. But if what you've been doing is beating yourself up, consciously and unconsciously, by the way, then you're doing the opposite. So here's the trick. Here's the easy thing to do. And you don't necessarily have to be specific about one thing. Praise yourself for any and everything that you do. That's right, you heard me right. Any and everything that you do. Remember I said it's going to have a global effect, because what will happen is that you will automatically, instinctively do more stuff and things that are better for you. And when I say any and everything, if I asked you right now, if I asked you to write down 10 things that you've succeeded at, here's what most people do. Okay, I graduated from college. I got married. I had a child. Let's see. And they run out of stuff in a matter of 3 or 4 or 5 things, because they're not listening closely to what I said. I didn't say, tell me all the great things you've done. I said, list the things that you have done. Any and everything. It doesn't have to be in any chronological order. You just have to list them. And when I say list them, what you write is what you invite. Write it down. I learned how to write my name. I learned how to ride a bicycle. I took the trash out this morning. I brushed my teeth. Anything. And here's the reason why. Because the brain doesn't know what's real and what's not when it vividly imagines it. And every time you remember, you remember. See, to dismember means to take apart. To remember means to put together. Your conscious and your unconscious mind. You go, oh, and watch it. I'm exaggerating, but every time you go like this, oh, dopamine release inside of your system, and your brain goes, oh, you're a badass. Oh, you can do it again. And then so when you start thinking about things that you want to do, that you should do, then guess what happens? Because you've done this over and over again, you've praised over and over again, your brain goes, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Versus going, I don't want to do this. Or that's going to be hard work. I know this sounds simple, but I've been doing this for years and years, and you would be amazed at the results. And so the thing is really quick. It's very simple. So all I want you to do, and this is why praise is so critically important, so critically important. All I want you to do is to take the time. And I have a piece of paper here, and I look at it right now. I wrote down. I've been doing this my whole life. Is to practice writing things down. I always say this. You heard me say it before. What you write is what you invite. Write down any and everything. So for the next 10 days. All I want you to do is try this. It'll take you 10 minutes of your day. For 10 minutes, I just want you to get out a journal. You see all these journals back here? There's like another 60 of them upstairs in my room, because I always keep journals. What I write is what I invite. And just write down any and everything that you can think of. When you poop today, I pooped today. I know it sounds silly, but all you're doing is programming yourself to instinctively feel better about you first. And if you feel better about you, then guess what? You're going to get up early, you're going to stay up late, you're going to do the extra stuff. Super, super simple. Listen, I hope this has been unbelievably helpful to you, because my outcome is always to help you go further, faster. And remember this, that life is exactly what you dare to make it. And fortune always favors the bold. So boldly step up and dare to make your life magnificent. Program yourself.